Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film The Hypnosis, directed by Ernst de Geer. I must say that I very much enjoyed this film, although I do think it has its flaws. I wasn't totally satisfied in the whole package. It's a Swedish film about a couple, Vera and Andre, who have created an app and they're invited to pitch at a prestigious competition before investors. Before the pitch, the participants are given 3 days of coaching to hone their pitches. And the twist in the story is that Vera sees a hypnotherapist to stop smoking just before the event. And the basic story is that after the hypnosis, Vera is completely different. Prior to the therapy, she seemed to be dominated by her partner, Andre, and her mother. We see her agreeing to things even though she doesn't seem 100% comfortable. After the therapy, she completely changes. She's got no boundaries or sense of what's appropriate or not. She says or does what she thinks. The basic setup, I think, is really good, and we see how her change dramatically affects the process of them pitching at this competition. In many ways, I think there's a lot that is clever about this film. It's a film about someone who represses their feelings and wishes in order to please others, someone who's guided by what others think, someone who's manipulated by others, who exploit her vulnerabilities. And the interesting bit is about what happens when, as if by magic, the person is suddenly able to express themselves without regard to what other people think. The film contrasts her authenticity with the superficiality of this kind of start-up tech investors environment. So I really enjoyed watching this story play through, although at a number of points, as I said, I did feel a little bit dissatisfied at the way the story was evolving. It might have been a little bit cliched, but I would have quite liked the story to play out in a kind of conventional way. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that there is kind of a happy ending, but the film certainly doesn't play out towards the ending in the conventional way that I was thinking. Instead, the awkwardness and discomfort of her behaving inappropriately at this event is ramped up to such a level that it becomes almost unbearable to watch. There is a lot of humour here, and it did make me laugh a few times, but it's very dark humour, very dry. I think the conventional story would have been to have her behaving in a really authentic way that showed up how ridiculous the others were in the process that they were going through. But instead, the film decides to do something different. It almost tortures us with her doing these really stupid things. It is interesting because I liked her character and I was on her side. I wasn't too keen on her partner, Andre. Yet, I found myself feeling sorry for Andre and the other people at the event because she was acting so crazy. Now, at one level, I think you could see this as an interesting thing to do, rather than just playing out the conventional story. And maybe this is very clever, that the film made me feel sorry for the characters I didn't like. But I just found that it almost became too much, and they actually spoiled what was otherwise a really interesting film. I do want to talk about the ending now, so this will be a spoiler. Switch off now if you don't want to know the end. I felt very dissatisfied at the ending. It just seems so unlikely that Andre, in the flick of a switch, would suddenly join her in this authentic, crazy, freeing behaviour. The fact that he drugged her was despicable, really, and surely she couldn't just forgive him that easily. I think it was one of the interesting things about the film, how in a dysfunctional relationship, the relationship works because both sides have their insecurity and dysfunction, and somehow they fit together like a jigsaw. And then when one of them changes, as she did after the therapy, the partner is left floundering, and although he was the dominant partner and seemed to be in charge, without being able to dominate her, he was reduced to being vulnerable himself. I thought this story was really clever and interesting and true to life. but it just seems so unlikely that he could have this epiphany where he was able to join her so easily on this journey. Maybe I'm taking the film more seriously than it's supposed to be taken, but I felt that the basic ideas were clever, so I do feel it deserves to be taken seriously in terms of what the film is portraying. To sum up, when I say I'm dissatisfied, I'm not necessarily saying this as a negative for the film. I'm a little bit undecided as to whether the film left me feeling exactly what Ernst wanted me to feel. I would unequivocally recommend this film. I really enjoyed it, and given that this was his first film, I'll be really interested to see what he does next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.